Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all students? I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to have our lecture number 7 of computer. So first of all, how many of you actually recite dua before starting your meal? You know, we all have to recite, we all have to follow the sunnah of our holy prophet, peace be upon him. So you should make your habit before starting your work. We should recite dua. So for starting before meal, what is the dua? Bismillah wa barakatullah. So when you forget reciting Bismillah, you should recite Bismillah awwalahu wa akhiru. And after the meal, you should recite Alhamdulillahilladhi at'amana wa saqana wa ja'alana muslimin. And we should follow the sunnah as well along with the dua, that we should wash our hands and we should gargle. Means कि हमें हाथ धोने चाहिए और हमें कुल्ली करना चाहिए. And second is we should clean our plates or the spoons or whatever we were having at meal time. बर्तन और उंगलियों को चाट कर साफ करना. This is also the sunnah of our holy prophet, peace be upon him. Okay, so how many of you know about hacking? Basically, hacking is something if someone has accessed the data of your computer or system that is unauthorized, means he is not the owner, he is not legal person to have your data, but he has accessed that data illegally. And basically, who are hackers? So a person who uses computers to gain unauthorized access to data is known as a hacker. And generally there are 10 kinds of hacker. These are most commonly called as white hat hackers, who basically hack, or ethical hackers और साइबर सिक्योरिटी एक्सपर्ट्स मीन्स कि हमारे ऐसे सिस्टम्स जिनमें हम अपनी फोर्सेस के थ्रू यूज़ करना चाह रहे होंगे, यानी कि कोई इलीगली हमारे क्रूशियल सिस्टम्स जस्ट लाइक आवर FIA. So we should save our data from stealing, from hacking. So we should hire them to keep records of them. Black hat hackers, they are often called crackers. These are just the type of hackers. Grey hat hackers, not legally authorized hackers. Script kiddies, these are the most dangerous hackers. And state nation sponsored hackers, they are highly paid government workers. Because just like I'm giving the example, वो लोग जो हमारे जैसे हमारा गवर्नमेंट का डेटा है, जैसे हमारे कितने लोग रहते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल डू यू नो कि जैसे हमारा डेटा गवर्नमेंट रखती है कि हाउ मेनी ऑफ द people live in Pakistan or in a certain region, and if someone wants to sell that data, the government should protect that data, and for that purpose they should hire some people who can counter those data or those hackers who actually wants to steal that. Okay, so far we have discussed the definition, characteristics and limitations of computer, then history of computer, then types of computer. Now today this is the second last topic of our chapter, that is advantages and impacts of computers. So let's get started with impacts of computers and the internet on society. Computers are used in everything from the home PC or laptop to appliances such as microwave oven, washing machines, entertainment devices such as VCRs and DVD players. I don't know how many of you have seen them, but in our childhood we had them on which we used to play video games. or we could see some videos as well, or movies and mobile phones, and and even in our cars. Why cars? Because nowadays the tracking system in our cars is very common. So it is almost impossible for many people to get through one day without having some form of interaction with computers. Not only have computers had a great impact on our family life, but also on education and the workplace. So computers have changed the way tasks are done. Then impact of computers and the internet society in the field of education. The use of computers for educational purposes has been highly beneficial for the students and teachers as well. At primary level, it is mostly used as an audio-visual aid in the teachings of various subjects. The use of graphics, sounds, animations, and the ability of such software to let the children freely interact with the computer makes learning fun. Okay, so what is an audio visual aid? That is just like the projector on which students use to learn something. So it makes them easy because they can visualize the things which they see physically through their eyes. Okay, then while using these educational software, children also learn the basic operations of using the computer, such as mouse, keyboard, etc. At high school, this continues um, as children become more and more proficient in using the computer. Then it is at tertiary level that computers really come into use. News, assignments, tests, lecture notes, etc. can be placed on the internet for students to access both at school and from home. Just like your school portal, you all know and you are very much familiar with your portal, that you can take your online classes from the portal and you can access your test, you can take lectures, you can take notes. So this was one of the example. Okay, then this is extremely useful for students who live in remote areas and cannot travel to and from universities every day. Basically, what is distant remote areas? Remote areas means that when you have no physical uh, facility to come or to commute between your area to the particular institution, so you take distant education. uh, Before lockdown, we in Pakistan we had distant education system. If someone has heard about Allama Iqbal Open University, it gives an along with Allama Iqbal Open University, Visual University also allows you to take courses, whether you are in Islamabad, whether you are in Karachi. You can take your courses online and attempt the test afterwards. So the idea of remote and distance learning can also be applied for the promotion of education. With the use of computers and the internet, children can now learn online through websites and audio and video conferencing. So these are the few examples of online softwares. We have seen Zoom, because we are conducting our classes on Zoom. You have heard about Google Classroom. Just like Google Classroom, we have different platforms. Some are shown here: Google Hangouts, BlueJeans, Skype, Cisco WebEx. Cisco WebEx and Slack basically provides video conferencing for business purposes. So computers are also very beneficial for research purposes. One can get information throughout the world sitting at home. Okay, now the impact in the workplace. Basically, computer technology has advanced greatly in the past couple of years, and in many large businesses, computers have begun taking the place of humans. And how humans? Because in warehouses and factories, a computer could replace humans completely. So, in those kinds of jobs, people do the same repetitive task over and over every day of their lives. A computer could be made and put into a robot that would be programmed to do this work every day with a speed and efficiency that would be impossible to attain without them. So you can see that in factories, robots are working repetitively. And what about the house chores? That is, just like the robot is cleaning, um, washing the dishes, and it's cooking food as well. So why? Because a computer would not need to take lunch breaks and bathroom breaks, which would result in more hours worked in an average day. There would be an increase in productivity, which would not have happened if it were still humans working. So at the present time, computers are not putting too many people out of work. It is more that they are helping us to do work. Stores use computers to keep track of their files, and many stores have also started using cash registers that are computers and not just the old box type registers. All businesses keep records on computers, and many of them depend entirely on their computer systems. But many people have fear that in another 20 years, many might be completely unemployed due to the advancement of computers, because you see students that right now, in era which we are living in, it is the advanced one as compared to the previous decade, because previously people were working manually. Now we are working with the help of our machines, just like the robots. So what if the companies actually replace humans with the machines, because they do not have to pay them? They will The robots will give them the work repetitively, the same work. So, and they would not take the breaks, and consequently the humans who take breaks, who earn money, so they will automatically get unemployed. So in that case, computers have both had a negative and a positive effect in the workplace. Since everything in this world is around computers, if just like if you book a flight, your name and information are entered into a computer, which is saved in the database. It would be easy for a talented hacker to change your information and get you off a flight while confusing airline attendants. Because if someone can attack their system, so they could easily change your data. And computers have not only helped to forward progress in finance, communication, and manufacturing, but their creation, programming, and maintenance has become an entirely new industry in itself. The computer on the planet employing millions of people to create and support them, and occupying the attention of millions more, whether they can be game players, enthusiasts, or hobbyists. Simply by their existence, for good or ill, computers have become a fact of life. Now, the impact of computers on work. Just like we have discussed so many things, now they are summarizing up. The upside means the advantages, that what are the advantages of computers in work, that it makes processes faster, and it allows for improvements in efficiency, and at all levels efficiency means that how much it is capable of performing the work better, and maintains massive amounts of data. And massive amounts of data simply means that it can handle a huge amount of data, and reduces workforce cost through telecommuting. Telecommuting simply means that you can work from home as well, just like in our lockdown days. most of the people were working from home, and they just have to come online or using their laptops or computers or their mobile phones, and they could do or provide their services while sitting at home through their internet email. So it would increase the productivity through flexible scheduling, because they can work harder and they can work according to their schedule. There was no time limit that they have to come from 9 to 5. There was no restriction, and they were flexible in their own circle. But computers create new jobs as well, because most of the people who can do work from home, they can be permanently hired. But what are the disadvantages, or what is the downside of it? Because the automation replaces or de-skills workers, of course. When we rely on our machines permanently, so it would de-skill our workers. No one is going to learn new skills, because the machines would automatically replace them. And constant and intrusive employee. Intrusive means because the interruption, or because the interruption caused by the robots or the machines actually demotivated the employees. So how they are going to work, or how they are going to perform their work efficiently. And what is the personal data used for purposes other than unintended? Basically, personal means the people employed in an organization or engaged in an organized undertaking such as military service. Means के the army people, we can replace the army people through our machines, because in that case no one is going to be is going to face damage or threats, because life is very important. So we can replace at that side. But what about the machines could not identify, or they cannot sense the enemies just like the humans can. So it is the downside as well. We can work at homes, often lower salaries and benefits. Of course, those who were working from home were having lower salaries and they were not getting any benefits. So computers replace more jobs than they create. It is at the same time, the computers can create new jobs, but it can also replace more jobs than they create. Now, what is the internet? Collection of various computers and other devices connected with each other to share the resources is called a network. uh, Internet is the largest network of the world that connects computers located at different parts of the world. And the internet provides information and services, as well as the ability to communicate to people all around the world in a variety of ways. These range from bulletin boards and chat rooms to voice conversations and video conferencing, just like we have discussed previously, that the chat rooms provided by different software platforms like Zoom, Google Hangouts, Skype, and the video conferencing or voice conversations on Cisco WebEx and Slack. We have so many things to do on internet through a web browser. We have seen Internet Explorer, we have Google Chrome. The internet creates new ways for citizens to communicate, congregate, and share information. And around the world, the internet is available to millions of people. Those who don't have a computer or access to the internet home will often have access at work or school, or even at the internet cafes. Another added bonus of the internet is that the majority of the information and services available are free. So now it is obvious that internet has and will continue to change the way we live. Telemedicine allows medical specialists in one city to diagnose and treat patients in another city. It is uh, telemedicine is just like a branch of something related to medicine, that it allows medical specialist in one city to diagnose and he can treat the patients while living in some other city. So the whole new industry of purchasing drugs online is another area where care and prudence are imperative. Basically what they want to say is, apart from the advantages, we have disadvantages as well. Since computers have a profound impact on our every part of our lives, in general, computers are beneficial to the task they are applied to, but computers can cause problems such as the Y2K bug. Basically, Y2K bug appeared in 1970s. People would fear that after 1999, the computers would not turn to the term January 2000, January 1 2000, because they haven't set their time, because the computers could not store so much data at that time, and it was very expensive to store huge amounts of data. So they just actually the last two numbers, the last two digits of the year, that is 19th century, it would consider the all the dates as uh, in 19th century. So after 1999, it would again go to 1900. So it would never go to 2000, because in that case they have to store so much data. So this is basically the error known as the most famous Y2K bug or millennium bug. That was a computer flaw that may have caused problems when dealing with dates beyond December 31, 1999. And apart from that, the unemployment, which we have discussed. Now these are the homework questions. You have to discuss impact of computers and the internet in the field of education. You have to discuss impact of computers in a workplace, and you have to define what is an internet. You have to discuss some advantages and disadvantages of internet for people around the world. And if any questions, you can ask in class. Jazakumullah khairan.